Brooklyn's historic The Black Lady Theater is now taking bookings. Host your next birthday party, concert, networking event, baby or bridal shower, wedding, art show, gala, corporate event, live stage play, audition, and so much more. At the one and only The Black Lady Theater. Mention code GODCAST for 15% off your rental fee. Code good for the first-time customers only. Valid for a limited time. Call 718-771-0900 to book your event today.
Peace! Today is Friday, July 12th. Make it today's math.
Knowledge, wisdom, all being born to understanding.
Man, woman, and child. Enough said. Welcome back to Yanadameen Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar.
I'm Digga.
We got my man Godfrey in the motherfucking house. Good. And we got the queen Sha Rock in the house. Yes. Original hip hop founding member. Give him, come on.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Original hip hop founding member.
Right.
Yes.
That's the truth.
Listen, before we continue, if you'd like to donate to the show, go to cash.me/$Yanadameen, patreon.com/
Yanadameen,
bounty.com/Yanadameen, and Yanadameen.com/support. Yeah.
You guys send it like so they can see it? Do you guys?
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
we got that.
Okay. You know, people be like, what was that again? Yanadameen got money. Where? I'm just making sure. You know, you make sure that you get the money. I want you guys to get paid.
Listen,
you fat.
True.
Freddie fuck ass you piece of shit fat fried Freddie ass you.
Our guest here set a precedence by donating to the show. Sha Rock just donated to the show so we can have labs for everybody. Fucking clap it up.
Wow.
So guess what? That means that y'all need to donate too, because this is what we're supposed to do as a family in hip hop.
Right.
We ain't supposed to hate on nobody. We're supposed to take care of each other. That's how we rise up.
Yeah.
That's how we rise up.
Might be your first time in history.
Yeah, you
donated, huh? You donated?
Yeah, to get some mics and all that old stuff.
That's right.
No, but
That's
that's what
awesome.
we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to look out for each
To
other.
move forward, that's
We're
what's
supposed
up.
to look out for each
Wait,
other.
now should we be feeling like shit? The guest that came up here like, I can't with the sound.
No, it wasn't that. No, Digga, that was before the sound. No, Digga, that was before the sound.
Yo, over here with your crutch.
That was before the sound, because I mean, we supposed to look
So
out for each
you need
other.
mics, then more mics too?
That's what's up.
Huh?
You need more mics too and all that other stuff?
Yeah, we building, bro. We
I'm
building
just
from the
asking because I
ground
might
up.
have some extra stuff too. Some extra stuff that I haven't
Nah,
used
they
in a
don't
minute.
want nothing that you digging up from the basement.
No, it's brand new. It's brand new.
Oh, okay,
No, it's brand new stuff though.
Yeah,
This is brand new
all right,
shit.
good.
It's not
They
like
want
some
new
like.
stuff.
Listen, we all about doing for self. See, when you do it like this, when your people support your other people, that's when you don't have to worry about, because we're gonna talk about. Well, we did. I guess we talked about in the first segment. You know why you have time to be here.
Why I have time?
Okay.
Oh yeah, you see, I'm not rushing off.
Because you gotta do for self.
I gotta do for self.
And that's when you don't have to worry about motherfuckers telling you, oh, we don't need you anymore and all this type of shit.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's why we here doing for self. Anyway, so we thank you and we praise you.
Yes, thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you,
It's
Sha
nothing.
Rock.
It's nothing.
For putting your money where your mouth is.
And we all need to do that to look out for each other. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because
Yes, we do.
my thing is, a lot of people out there doing podcasts, right? You know, they do that. But if you secure in your craft and you got a good product, you shouldn't hate on the next man. You should always make sure you try to uplift women, sisters, brothers, anybody to look out. Because your blessings may not come when you want it to come, but it's going to come when you give and you don't worry about getting it back. So everybody should be supporting and helping out each other. So read that again. Read that again. So you can get that money.
Wise words to live by. So yes, if you'd like to donate to the show, go to cash.me/$, patreon.com/YouKnowWhatImean, bounty.com/YouKnowWhatImean, or YouKnowWhatImean.com/support.
You sleep better at night.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have some questions for you, sis.
Yes, ma'am.
And I hate using the word femc. As an MC that happens to be a female from another one, how was it, especially in your time with like no other females were really stepping up to the plate like that? Was there any like intimidation factor? Like were you scared? Were you the big reveal, or was it just like, what? I'll chew these niggas up too?
It wasn't, you know, and all of the questions, the answers that you say, Rah, is like on point. You have to remember, I came up through the inception of hip hop, which meaning that they didn't look at me as a woman. Because if I was a female, plus. If I look good, that was a plus. But I was just prolific as any other male MC that was out there. So I had to be able to hold my own, because we're talking about the inception. As opposed to what, you know, let's say now, people that have hit records or have records on the radio, they have it good because they got social media. They got the internet to push them forward. I was out there with little or no resources, which meaning that I had flyers, word of mouth. So when they came to your parks, or they came to the park jams, they came to you, you had to be able to deliver your MCing skills so they can be able to come back to you. So I didn't have to deal with most females like yourself being a prolific MC have to deal with, because I came up in the era where your skills was what made you who you were and took you to that next level. And so sometimes I look and I see, especially for people like you know, a light, you know, not to take anything from anybody else, but it's like, why do the world has to just have one female MC? They're out there. I mean, just ready to just go off. But I didn't have to deal with that. I didn't have to deal with the misogyny. I didn't have to deal with reveal. Now,
and what was it about you that made that possible? Like, why wasn't they like, yo, get out of here, shorty? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the dudes doing this. Like it had to be something. First of all,
I helped created this culture. So how are you going to tell me to go when I was there on that front line? I was on the front line. I was there carrying the crates. I paid my dues. I helped created the culture. I was on the front line. So you can't tell me to go any place when I helped created the culture. I'm there. So now you have to accept me as that prolific MC that I was, especially during my time. So when you listen to people like DMC say, I am the one to help inspire him and Run to do Tougher Than Leather album, that I inspired them, you know, when I was on the echo chamber, you know, to make sure that whenever they, you know, said their rhymes, he told Jam Master Jay, I want you to make me sound like Sha Rock on them cassette tapes. You understand what I'm saying? Or when you hear a person like Puffy say, and you know, when I heard Sha Rock voice, I never met her, but her voice was mesmerizing, like my homegirl Rah Digga over here. When you hear people like the Beastie Boys say, if it wasn't for Sha Rock, you know, there would be no female MCs. Or who inspired you? Sha Rock from the Funky Four. Or when you hear somebody like Lord Jamar say, well, who's the top 5, you know, MCs that should be, what, in the Hall of Fame?
Right, they just put up a post, and we'll put that post up.
And he said, and I'm shocked because I didn't even know you felt that way, but I'm honored.
They said, if we created a Hip Hop Hall of Fame, who would be your first 5 to put in automatically? I said, Melly Mel, Kumo D, Grandmaster Caz, Spoonie G, and Sha Rock. And that was before I even knew that she was going to be here today.
See, and this is why
that's how the universe works.
Wow. I respect her, and Light is no joke. Light has always been the one, you know, the one who Light is another person that said, you know, when I was 11 years old and I lived in Brooklyn, I used to come up to Harlem. And when I came up to Harlem, I heard Sha Rock on a cassette tape, you know, and I heard Mo D. And I said, I can do that. So when you have people like her and Fat Joe will say Sha Rock was better than the 99% of the guys that's out there. He just said this a couple of weeks ago. Now for me, it's a gift and a curse. Because now it's like, yeah, she's good, but let me just sweep her under the rug. Because now I have to deal with men. I never dealt with that type of problem back then. But when you say stuff like that, even if it's true, and I'm thankful, now why am I not being acknowledged? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, part of it is probably because you didn't make the establishment money. You see, like you're only important to these people if you make the establishment, these corporations. You came in before that. You came in before.
You were boots on the ground.
Yeah,
right. You were the vanguard, is what they're called.
Yeah, it's okay. But if that's what it is to say, you know, that you're a legend and or to say that you're an icon, then keep the money. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I have to sell my soul just because, you know, you said I got to sell a lot of records and I got to do, yeah, I sold a lot of records, but I didn't get the money for the records I sold. You understand what I'm saying? I sold a lot of records. Y'all don't know about it, but I didn't get the money for the records I sold. And you're talking the 70s, you know, the early 80s. I'm going through a dispute with Sugar Hill Records, fighting
to this day.
Every...
Oh, they robbed so many people.
Okay,
they robbed people that were not even on Sugar Hill Records.
Whatever y'all don't
Seriously.
know, I don't have a gag order.
They was going around stealing people's publishing.
I don't have a gag order. I don't have a gag order. And this is the truth. When I was in Germany, my husband was in the military. When I was in Germany, there was a box record set that was sold for $100. Everybody that was a part of Sugar Hill Records had their song on there. I wrote about this in my book, you know, and back in 2010. The thing is that when I got back to the States and when I'm over in Germany and my child say, well, Mom, can you get me, you know, buy me this doll or you know, something like that to that effect, you know, since you have this money from this record. When I got back to the States, I seeked out lawyers. I went to every person that was under Sugar Hill Records to go in with me to file a class action lawsuit. The Sequence didn't want to go in with me. Nobody wanted to go in with me. The only person that went in with me was the Furious Five, because I went to every member in Sugar Hill Records and said, I want you to join me in this class action lawsuit. Now, I did the research. Nobody in New York City, no attorney wanted to mess with Sugar Hill Records. They said to me, Sha Rock, it's going to cost you all this money. I knew I couldn't deal with them for years and years and years in court. So I did the smart thing. BMI told me, say, look, this is how they messing with your publishing. By changing the name of That's the Joint, writing it different ways, changing the names of the Funky Four to the Funky Four plus one more, and changing the reign. And these are the 7 or 8 different companies that your money is going into. I got a lawyer. Go to this lawyer and they're going to take care of you. I went to a lawyer that handled people like Chubby Checker, Jewish lawyers downtown. And guess what? They said to me, Sha Rock, we will take on your case, but you're going to have to give us half of whatever we get. Now, I know I can't deal with them in money in court. So guess what? I gave them half of everything because half was better than nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And so I went back to the Sequence.
Although it should have been a third.
Right. But it was okay because I wasn't getting nothing. I did like 9 songs on that label. But they were selling overseas like crazy.
Right.
I didn't get paid a dime from records. So anyway, you know, they filed a lawsuit, went back to, you know, the people in Sugar Hill. The only one, I asked Raheem to go and get the Furious Five. They signed on. Sugar Hill Gang didn't want to sign on. Sequence didn't want to sign on. Crash Crew signed on later. Okay, so now we in court for years. This started in 2011. The judge deemed that they were at fault. So the father had to pay. He passed away. The mother had to pay. She passed away. The son had to pay. He passed away. Another son passed away, and there's one more son left. So I don't have a gag order. This really happened. It's court record. It's documented. My lawyers has the canceled checks of payment. I'm still in court to the day for the remaining amount of my money for the last couple of years that I have not got. And that's the truth. So don't let nobody tell y'all anything different, because it's documented in the court of law in New York City. It's true.
Wow. Crazy.
Wow.
First-hand account.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So let me ask you, sis.
It's true.
So now you're established. You've got all your, all of your credibility streetwise. Like everybody knows, like you are like this chick. Now,
and then they come out with a hit record.
Huh?
And then they come out with a hit record.
No, well, we were under, because That's the Joint wasn't our first record. We were under Enjoy Records, which was the first label, like the first really like rap radio.
Yes,
yeah,
Enjoy, man.
Right,
Nobody talks about Enjoy.
Which we had, but that was like, Enjoy was the label that had all the prolific MCs that was on the street.
Where was Enjoy located
like
at?
125th, 7th, 11th Avenue or something like that.
Harlem.
Yeah, in Harlem, we recorded our song out of the record store in the back.
Right.
Who created Enjoy?
Bobby Robinson, which is no affiliation to Sylvia Robinson.
Oh wow, another Robinson.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Robin, mother.
I wanted to say, like, how was it when like the next wave of females started coming, like Shanté and
okay. So
what space were you in, like, when that next wave?
The
of girls
space.
started
Okay,
coming?
so almost a decade I had been out before Roxanne Shanté, and when Roxanne Shanté came out, she set New York on fire. But during that time, I was going in dispute, trying to get off the record label. So I was still with the Funky Four, right? But also created the Us Girls to do the movie Beat Street.
Sha Rock is the woman with the magical touch. I'm like burning fire. I'm just too much. I want to treat you like a king in the heat of the night.
Us girls.
Right, to do the music. So I was still with Sugar Hill Records at that time.
Wow.
And so in order for me to do the movie Beat Street, those two, Lisa and Debbie, they didn't have a record deal. I had a record deal. I had to go to Harry Belafonte and say, look, these two girls, they're not signed to a record deal. I'm signed to Sugar Hill. So, okay, well, I said, I don't think she's going to let me do it because we're going through a dispute right now. And the only way for me to do this is to, you have to go to her and ask her. So he said, okay. So he called her. So he said, look, Sha Rock is down here in my office. She wants to be a part of the movie Beat Street. What do we have to do to get her to be a part? And for what he tells me, she said, okay, she could be a part of it, but you have to let Melly Mel do the hook for Beat Street. And that's how they were able to get into Beat Street, through him going through Sugar Hill Records and Sylvia Robinson for me.
I remember that, but I remember that scene. Us girls can boogie too.
Right. But I was still, so when you say what was going on at that time, I was, Shanté was out, she was coming out, but I didn't want to record, because why do I need to record when I'm not getting paid for it? So I'm trying to fight in court and trying to get away from her, completely. And Keith, his uncle was a lawyer, but he didn't really come through with the actual fighting until it was almost like a decade later that I found the lawyers that will fight and go to distance and knew what they had to do to get the job done.
But what was the record y'all did on Enjoy?
It was called Rappin' and Rockin' the House, which was the
come on,
which was the longest rap record ever.
That was
longer
my
than 16,
shit.
Right. That was the longest rap record ever. 16 minutes until somebody beat the record. So we made the first the longest recorded rap record.
We loved our records long like that because you never wanted that shit to end. Like they used to be too short because we didn't get the hip hop like that.
Exactly. Right. So when you talk about that beat with Cheryl Lynn, go back to the disco era of the songs. We all used the songs that were synonymous to disco to make hip hop beats, and hip hop made it more popular. They were selling more than what they were selling in their own records.
Because it made it more street too, though.
Exactly.
Because disco was,
Exactly.
Let's keep it real.
Exactly.
Disco's a little wrist bending and
fun songs, though.
It is. It was
but Saturday Night Live, and you had the white boys that was into disco too. And,
but they do all that twirling.
And then you had the gay guys that was into the shit.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. One of the commentators that I was speaking to, and I was doing an interview, and he was like, "Well, back in the days, did you find that it was a racist thing? How did they feel about rap music?" And I said, "Well, when I was coming up, we were playing down in the hole in the walls in Soho, the kitchen, or the Ritz clubs or whatever. They respected hip hop so much because it was like punk rock, hip hop." Joining together, and they would
these were
subcultures, and but came together, and they would be on stage or they'll be in the crowds, and they would just be throwing each other up in the air and that loved.
And this is how we got Planet Rock.
Exactly.
Like that sound is the culmination of what you're talking about.
So
is these dudes mixed. Going downtown.
Exactly, and mix. And let me tell you, a different genre of people enjoy hip-hop records and or hip-hop music, and this is what the Funky Four did. We brought that downtown. So
tell us what you have going on right now. I know recently you were given an award, but also you have a movie coming out, because I know Roxanne Shanté had a movie recently.
Much respect to her.
And we had her on the show. She's a friend to the show.
Yes.
But Sha Rock, I could only imagine what the Sha Rock story is going to be like. So tell us a little bit about what you have going on right now, and especially the film that you have coming.
Yeah. So basically, I'm in New York. I live in Texas. New York, I love New York to the fullest. And this is why I'm filming my movie, Luminary Icon. That was the name of my book, and Luminary, not Illuminati, but Luminary Icon, the light. So I'm doing it, and I'm in New York, simply, because a couple of weeks ago I did casting, and I was sort of kind of, waiting to find the perfect person to play, Sha Rock. But now, I had my investors from overseas. Look, we need to do this. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. Whatever it costs to take, let's get this movie popping. And so I enlisted people like Dana Dane, because I wanted to include, I didn't want to make this, yes, it's going to be about my journey from from North Carolina to New York, to how I became a founding member, first female MC of hip hop, and what I had to go through, on the streets of New York at that time, because
there was some gangster shit going on at that time.
And them gangsters protected Sha Rock. They did. They did. And when you're young, you don't look at it like that. But that's what happened because of the respect. And so, I don't like to take anything from any female out there, because we as females have contributed so much, and we don't get our due diligence, because we are MCs. Rah, you out there. But I wanted to make sure that people understood, and even if they don't know, what I did for this culture, how I was on the front line, how I helped to move this culture forward. And even if you don't know me, and you may know one or two records, I helped this $1 billion business. And it wasn't just because of rap records or rapping, because that's only one element of hip hop. You understand what I'm saying? It's only one element. I celebrate all elements of hip hop. And so what I would like to do is let people know about my contributions and how I helped to create this $1 billion business. And by the same token, Rah was telling me, earlier, she said, I saw you, on this video, crying, and all that stuff, because they caught me off guard, because on June 1st, New York City and the Bronx deemed June 1st as MC Sha Rock Day in the Bronx. So now I get to sell it. I think they did Nipsey Hussle's Day in Harlem. So we'll share the same day, and I don't mind sharing it with them, but I know in the Bronx every day, June 1st is MC Sha Rock Day.
That's beautiful.
And I was honored. So when they told me
clap
that.
It up for that.
So you gonna come every year to New York?
Yeah. I'm in New York all the time because I'm retired.
So you have to show up.
No, I'm planning something, so I gotta have y'all out there.
Absolutely.
And what I was trying to say is that
I was born in the Bronx.
Yeah, right. So what I was trying to say to me, it's not just about the Bronx. It's about Brooklyn. It's about Queens. It's about Manhattan. It's about Harlem, because I was in all of those places. So I brought in different people to help me with the movie, like Dana Dane. Dana Dane's from Brooklyn. He's one of my writers. I'm on the phone with him 24/7 because I want to let the world know, yeah, Bronx started it, but hip hop is about peace, unity, and having fun. And if I know somebody that got the traits to make it happen, I don't care if they're from Queens, from Brooklyn, whatever. We all supposed to come together and look out for each other. And this is what I did for my movie. Just brought in people from Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx as consultants to make sure that we tell the true story of the culture in hip hop and how it went
running
down.
out.
Right.
How can people contact you with social media?
Yeah, I just got back on social media, guys. My daughter set it up 3 years ago. I just got back on a month or so ago. So I am MC Sha Rock on Instagram,
Twitter.
Yeah,
you on Twitter too?
I just got back in.
What's
Twitter? Listen,
try to make them all the same, so you don't have to.
Spell Sha Rock.
Just
listen,
look, Google Sha Rock,
yeah,
and y'all will find
He told me I got to get back on there.
Hey, social media is the
yes.
You know how she's here today? I
social media.
Her DM.
Okay.
You slid into it?
I saw her in
and I was honored.
Feet first.
I saw her
slid into
crying. And I'm watching it, and it brought me to tears. I'm like,
listen, we gotta run, but Sha Rock, thank you so much.
Much respect.
We love you.
Thank you, Rock.
Yo, once again for Yanadameen Godcast, I'm Lord Jamar. Godfrey!